A very good morning to all. Today we will have a lecture on pitching event for ideas scouted and the mentorship support provided by the innovation ambassadors. Today we have our guest Dr. N. Sri Madhavaraja, Associate Professor from St. Joseph Engineering College, Chennai. I now request you, sir, to deliver the address to our students and faculty. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Today, I'm going to give a brief idea about pitching events for ideas. So let us start the event. Let us not waste time. We will go by the event. So can anyone just put in the chat window what is pitching? We have an idea about what pitching is. Shall I get some responses in the chat? Right. Pitching means ideating. Okay. Yes. You can also unmute and talk. Okay. Yeah. I think many of you find this as a new topic. No issue. I think that's why IIC has given this opportunity for all to know about pitching. Okay. Why should we study about ideation, research, project management, and pitching? There are basically needs for this. See, suppose, let us go by layman terms. You are interested in developing a startup. You have a very good idea on a single product, and you want to sell it. So what you generally do, you go for, searching for people who want to buy your products. So usually our Indian mindset thinks that we have to invest ourselves on the project. We have to get loans, get our projects done, finally make a product, develop our own industry, and then we go for final product. So this is what we have been taught as an Indian mindset. But now the actual business scenario is not like that. You can go for pitching, where you can find investors who can put money on your product if they are interested, who can sometimes buy your product, or they can also show you the market where you can actually sell your product. You have a lot of issues. Like you have a lot of opportunities nowadays. So pitching is an event where you say you go for selling your idea or your product or whatever it is, your prototype or anything. So knowledge about pitching is very important for any startup manager. That's why we need to know about before going for ideation, research, project management, and also pitching is a need of the hour. It is important to be confident by gaining valuable information and practicing that will help your pitch to be more clearly and precise than that will ultimately get you to your point across. See, actually, a knowledge of pitch to some extent is important at an earlier stage, so that when you come for an actual scenario, this will really help. Okay. How to pitch an idea, right? How to pitch an idea. Anyone? Do you have any idea? So first of all, pitching itself is a difficult one. How to pitch an idea? So let us see. I'll give you some tips on how to pitch for an idea. Yes. Pitching is a short and concise sale speak. That is, you give a small talk on your idea. It should be very, very short. There are a lot of rules for it. You will go for higher conceptual. I mean, if you are going for really a demo, I think even colleges can conduct a small pitching idea event, so that students at an earlier stage can know how to prepare a pitching PPT. A short and concise sales speak. It gives more answers than questions, conclusion and consequences. So this is a short definition of what pitch idea is. What is the need for pitching? The goal of every innovation is to create and deliver customer value that is clearly greater than the competitions of the competitors. That's see, actually, it's the goal of innovation is to create and deliver a customer value. You should be very clear about it. I think I have an example I will show you. Startups are looking for good investors, and investors are looking for good startups. A lot of investors are there. People have money. The problem at this point of time, the world is facing with the shortage of ideas. So whoever has an idea becomes a millionaire nowadays. So there are a lot of investors. People have money and they want to invest on good ideas. So okay. So you have seen in the title something called scouts. What is a scout? Who are scouts? Scouts are people who are looking for startups, technologies, teams to collaborate with. This cooperation can be different from from investing. The cooperation can be what I actually mean here is the cooperation from a scout is like investing on our startup, accelerating our work through some supports, and also sometimes buying our technology. So this is where the scouts actually come into picture. So how do scouts find a startup? So this is something you have to ask for yourself. Scouts finding startups. You can see obviously nowadays, how do you find your friends? Usually through social media. Yes, social media helps us to find the startups also. Looking for information. There are also some open databases like the Crunchbase, PitchBook, Dealroom. These are some what you call open databases where you have a lot of people who come up with startups. So startup people get a membership on these open databases and they find the startups for suitable for investing. And also through social media, of course, Facebook, Telegram, many startup founders have this something called startup code key. For example, there are a lot of things are there where it's a special applications app where you can find the startup cases. Adding the projects that are there is also something called demo days and pitch sessions. I think in Twitter we have something called space. Like in spaces, somebody creates a space at some time. Similarly, in for startups also, they have something called demo days where people give a lot of demo and there are pitch sessions. So you can go for your ideas and you can find scouts who can invest on it. how do you get noticed by a scout? This is a very important question. So visibility of a product, our work is a competitive advantage for a startup, especially it should be earlier than late. If not, your competitor will take over it. So it's very, very important. So to get noticed, there are some things that you have to follow. You have to create profiles in a startup database. Take care of the website with a project description. Profiles include your current contacts everywhere. Attend the main startup events in your region. Tell about yourself in a format, in any format. You need to show your traction. Talk about your potential. That's very, very important. And finally, you should have a beautiful presentation. I have a small example on the NABC beautiful presentation. I will get back to you. So this is the NABC model. That is need, approach, benefit, competition. So this is very short one. When you present your idea startup, you have to talk about your need. What are the needs of the users, customers? What is the need for the product at this point of time? It's very, very essential. Everyone will ask, isn't it? When you come for the product, immediately, even in the final years, we used to ask students when they come up with a project idea, what is the necessity for a project? Then what is the approach you are going to use? What is the approach to the solution or the implementation? Then obviously they will ask for benefit, and finally, who are your competitors? Okay, so do the NABC in 4 steps. Do the NABC in 4 steps. This need, approach, what is unique approach that you are following, what is the specific benefits, and who are your cost superior to the competitors. Okay, so these are some of the 4 important aspects of going for an NABC model. So that will make the scout attracted towards you and will try to help you in whatever aspects you expect of. For example, ponder upon this example. Just John, I understand you are hungry as I. So this is a need, hunger. The second one is approach. Let's go have some lunch at the company's cafe. This is the approach. So you want to go for a cafe instead of going to home for a meal. You're going for a company cafe for a lunch, okay, or to quench your hunger. So that is the approach. Who is the competitor? Where else can you go? You can go for McDonald's. So that is the competition. Okay. Because why you avoid McDonald's who is nearby? Because McDonald's is a great food, but yet still it is a costly. And you can get the same quality of lunch in your company's cafe. So this is a small NABC approach. This kind of approach you should have in mind while you suddenly come to your startups. How can a scout help a startup? You know, obviously now I think by this time you must be clear. How can a scout help a company? The network, they create a network. Even if they are not interested, they will ask someone else to buy your product. This is a network. If a scout comes to a startup, then they are already interested in it. Okay, and they have made some selection. Even if they are not going to directly involved in it, they will definitely find a partner for us to help us. So your circle is your success. So they will help you prepare for a meeting like funds. As I said, funds is the major task. So they will give you right questions, and sometimes they may give ideas to develop your product in a more suitable way for the market. Sometimes we may miss something wherein the pitchers will help us, or the scouts will help us in making the product right. Pitching to a scout is also a great idea. So raising investment is a necessary burden for most startups. As you know, funds provided by the scouts are very helpful for us. So this is quite now I think we would have got some idea about what the real pitching is. So what should be an investor pitch deck have? So these are some of the things. I think this is for people, a general audience, this might not be very familiar, but still you should know that these are the factors that you have to consider before going for a startup, so that if somebody comes for going for a startup, they should consider these things. There is the problem, solution, product, market size, business model, underlying magic, competition, better different marketing plan, team slide, traction, milestones. Okay. So these are some of the ideas. Now, I'll show you a sample NABC model of Facebook's original pitch desk. Facebook, when they were introduced, how they just presented themselves in the 9 slide. There are various models like 9 slide model, 12 slide model. So this is the when Facebook came as a startup, they came out with this 9 slide model. It's very simple model. They have given everything, all the requirements you need, their technology, everything in the 9 slides. So this for your reference. Okay, there are a lot of things available. You can search the look for startups pitch desk examples. You will get a lot of things. And now, what is the role of the innovation ambassadors conducting pitches for startups? Now, I will give you some time so that you can discuss on this.